Well, you know what time it is.
Well, it's earlier this week because soccer, so I was caught off guard.
Good point. Last night, an elite group of scholars, charlatans, and gentlemen wearing Gucci sweatshirt combinations met in the city that never sleeps to burn the midnight oil and concoct what is known worldwide as the best segment in all of sports television. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor, it's a privilege. It's time for Nick's Tears.
Thank you so much, Kevin Wildes. Not maybe the best intro yet. Week 15 tiers. Oh, where has the time gone? We start as we always do with the eliminated tier, and this week we unveil a new group entirely. That eliminated tier might look smaller than before. I'll explain that momentarily. I'll explain momentarily. The Cardinals, by the way, that's the lowest they've ever been. The Rams, up to the top row of the eliminated tier, thanks to the friskiness of one Baker Mayfield. Now a new group, Fan Purgatory. These 4 teams are eliminated. However, the non-committee media will try to convince fans that their teams are alive. The Lions, 1-6 to the playoffs. The poor Jags and the Prince that was promised only 2 games out, and the NFC South wide open. So while these teams are eliminated, their fans, unfortunately, are given false hope over the next couple weeks, thinking they could make the playoffs when in fact they cannot, because they, of course, have already been eliminated. Now to the actual teams, tiers, teams that are still alive. Remember the kid, good job, good effort kid?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the Seahawks, Jets, and Giants. It's a good job. Good job. I'm being totally sincere like that child was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You're not going to get to the finish line most likely. Maybe 1 or 2 of you will, but probably not. And if you do get to the finish line, you're going to be all out of breath and collapse there. But no matter how the season ends, all 3 of these teams have already had good years. All 3 of these teams will go into next season feeling optimistic, and all 3 of these teams should feel like they did a good job this year.
What about Zach Wilson, real quick?
Zach Wilson, he should, probably be looking for real estate elsewhere. Next, GOAT respect.
Let's go.
That's Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. These teams are not good. However, because of the respect we have for Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, they cannot be crossed off entirely. And if they were, in the Patriots case, to sneak into the playoffs and not have to face the Chiefs in round 1, they would actually be a little scary for a team because of the Belichick schematic advantage, similar to Tom Brady, could scare someone even though the team has not looked good all year. I guess. That's these teams. Reveal the next tier, please. The Titans in Washington. We play hard-nosed football, and we're well-coached, and we run the ball, and blah, 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 blah. Just go away. Nobody, it's 2022. Next. Getting exposed. These are not the standings. We've told you that time and again. When folks demanded we respect the Giants, and then folks demanded that we respect the Vikings. However, we will admit we are not flawless at the committee. There was a brief moment in time where we bought into the hype and the sparkly new nature of the Miami Dolphins. However, that was a time long ago. Since then, what we have seen is both of these teams have obvious clear-cut flaws. For the Vikings, it is oddly not Kirk Cousins, who isn't having a great year, but the offense has been fine, but that defense is horrible. And their 1-score game luck is ending quickly as they end the season with a better record than the team probably deserves. And the Dolphins, we know what's happened to them over the last 10 days. The question is, when will they win again? And will they win again over the next few weeks? Next! So here's the next tier, scares everyone, and everyone is in caps because I'm including their own fans. These teams are very good teams at times. However, you have no idea what you're getting from them, and you do not know in any given week if they are going to shoot themselves in the foot. However, when they are clicking, they both have excellent defenses. They both have a quarterback that scares you when Lamar gets back healthy. And they both have had playoff experience with these current groups. So that should be scary to their opposition, but also scary to their own fans. High ceiling, low floor teams. Wild variances. Nobody looks forward to playing either of these teams. But neither of these teams can go into any game and say, oh, chalk that one up, that's a win, because their floors have been so low, but the ceilings are, wait, Do they have the second best quarterback in the league? Do they have the scariest offense in the league? So high ceiling, low floor.
Good.
Next group, GMs of the year. John Lynch and Howie Roseman take a bow. You have built 53-man rosters that are the envy of the entirety of the league. We will give the nod even more to Howie Roseman in this regard. The Niners have done it through savvy drafting and through the trading away of their own draft picks. The Eagles have done it, and they have extra draft picks, including the Saints draft pick coming back to them, which could be a top 5 pick. Those rosters are outstanding. Right now, that looks like the prohibitive favorite to be the NFC title game. Moving the goalposts. That is where the Kansas City Chiefs are. They are not at the top of the tiers, but the committee must admit we're disappointed in our colleagues in the media continually moving the goalposts on this team. Whether it is, that's going to be the toughest division ever and they might not win it, to, Patrick Mahomes undefeated in the division again, who cares? The offense. There's a very savvy media member maybe on this show. I think they're going to miss Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill's a good player. And now, when the team scores more points than last year, it's like, old news. Up 27-0 on a divisional opponent. And yet, it's discussed as if the Chiefs nearly lost that game. The goalposts keep moving. That is, such is life. And then finally, run the table. And that is the top team, and that is the Cincinnati Bengals. I would like to show you the Bengals' schedule, because they have a very odd and interesting opportunity if they were to run the table.
Wow.
Now, it's a very difficult schedule. But if they were to run the table, they have already beaten, if you look on their schedule, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Chiefs. If they run the Titans, they have a chance to go into the playoffs having beaten literally every team that makes the playoffs in the AFC. Something that I don't know that I've ever seen done. Now, they did not play the Chargers and will not play the Chargers, so the Chargers getting in could screw it up. But every other eligible playoff team, they have either already beaten or an opportunity to beat if they were to run the table. They also right now are the best team in football. There is the committee's tiers for Week 15, Greg Jennings.
So, I'm done with challenging the committee. I really am. Because I know who they are and what they're all about. They're all about the AFC and making sure that the Kansas City Chiefs have some sense of respect. That's just who the committee is cheering for. Yikes. We get it. The Bengals at 9-4, although I like the Bengals, sit atop of the tiers just because they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The Eagles, however, GM, and you're very creative committee members of your titles for these, but
one of our
the Eagles are, and I know this isn't the standing, 12-1. They have everything you want, and they've shown everything that you could possibly show to improve as a team and to show that they are the best team in the NFL. What don't they do well?
No, they do everything well.
They do everything well.
As do the Cincinnati Bengals.
And it's interesting to me how the Eagles are so low on your tiers.
They're not so low.
And I will say this lastly. I believe it's just because they're in the NFC. The committee does not respect the NFC
That's just
team.
not true. Well,
it is
NFC
very
is
true.
the
When the Vikings were having a run, the committee always found questions.
To call them
the
frauds?
Eagles were undefeated, and there was always questions. I know it's not the standing.
Do you?
I do.
I do not know if you know it's
I
not
don't
the
want to
standing.
argue. I'm just pointing out the facts.
Okay, well.
Like, I get it.
You want the standings.
The Bengals are so scary to the Chiefs.
Go to your local newsstand and pick up a copy of the USA Today and turn to page C4, and you can look right there. There's the standings. Unfortunately.
So why are the Eagles?
Why are the Eagles 12-1?
Where they
because
are.
they're not as good as the Chiefs or the Bengals.
Why are they where they are?
I mean, well, because the only argument for them is the standings. The argument against them is everything the committee has discussed in our meetings, which you were invited to, especially because you were invited to be a part of the committee, and you're now in New York City, and once again you didn't show up. So I'm not going to make you privy to our proprietary algorithm when you could have been a part of it, but you didn't. So Wildes, go ahead.
Okay, I have a petition here, Greg. I know it's not the standings. I am well aware of it, but I would like this little team little team that could.
Principles promise?
No, I thought about it. I instead went with the Lions. Reason number one, they're straight up winning games. And I know it's not the standing, it's also not power rankings. I'm well aware of that. However, they've won 5 of their last 6, and they've got very winnable games against losing teams.
Yes,
and I know
they do.
You're thinking, like, hold on a second, the Packers got a losing record. I could see that. That might be a Jordan Love game. Justin Fields, which some people had in the MVP race, that's a winnable game. You got the Panthers, that's a winnable game. You got the Jets, who are not a good team. I saw you like, oh, no, 7-6, not the standings. Also, the record doesn't matter. Patriots blew you guys out twice. Reason number 2, Jared Goff. I know you're more of a neck guy than a hands guy. But when you look at the numbers for Jared Goff, if we can throw him up, Dusty, just for the record, let you guys behind the curtain, Dusty doesn't actually throw up the graphics. He just makes them. We're always like, Dusty, put it up. So whoever's putting up the graphics, I'm sorry, it's not Dusty. It wouldn't be a coincidence if the person's name was also Dusty. I didn't know. Completion percentage, better than Mahomes. Passing yards, better than Dak. More passing touchdowns than Josh Allen, a better passer rating.
Oh, this is
Joe
since
Burrow.
week 8. Okay.
Well, yeah.
I like that. That was
when
fine.
He got hot.
No.
I think it was on a down. Yeah,
I didn't notice
the
that.
Patriots is a little bit rough.
I like it.
And finally, a little bit of accidental creativity from Dan Campbell and his coaching staff. We saw this play from Panay Sewell, and we're like, wow, is that the most beautiful play I've ever seen? Mina Kimes drew a beautiful painting of it. Well, today, or perhaps yesterday, Dan Campbell went on the Pat McAfee show.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what he said. The fans are doing a wave around the stadium. So I'm just watching, and I hear Ben Johnson, OC, say, hey, coach, you want to do blah, 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 blah? And I'm so focused on the wave, I say, yeah, that's fine. And I look up, and we're throwing it to Panay, and I'm like, what the blank are we doing? Well, it worked out.
Yeah.
So I feel like Lady Luck is on the Lions side.
Okay.
And just, I know it's not the standings, but some power rankings have them a little bit higher than
Okay, so a couple things. One is, I like Dan Campbell, but you remember how Nat Hackett hired the guy to do the decision stuff for him?
Yeah.
Hired the guy to, be the head coach, but not in name for the Denver Broncos? The Lions might need one of those. It's not because he missed this play call, but one of the reasons that I and the committee don't believe the Lions are going to end up winning 7 of 8 games to surge into the playoffs.
Focusing on the wave?
Is because his in-game stuff, even last week, he made the same mistake that he made to lose the Vikings game the last time, which is kick an unnecessary super long field goal at the very end of the game. Now they made it this week. So that part makes me nervous. And lastly, when it comes to Lions, where I will give them their credit. One of the things we do with the committee is we do a separate tiers that don't make the show.
Really?
Of just the last month. If just the last month, it helps us kind of build out the entire thing. And the Detroit Lions came in on the just the last month portion, 7th in the NFL.
You should put that on the podcast.
Well,
a little bonus content.
Yeah, a little bonus content. We'll think about that. That's the type of thing, Greg, you would know if you showed up to the committee meetings. Instead, his chair's just sitting there empty every Tuesday evening. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.